adding OAuth 2.0 authentication to your .NET APIs using nothing but a free Azure subscription in 210 seconds. Let's get started. Libraries needed are going to be on the right-hand side of the video. First, we're going to come into our program.cs and add the necessary services that we need for our authentication. Add authentication is the method we will be calling on our services object. It expects a string parameter, which will be using the constant value of authentication scheme from the JWT bearer defaults class. Next, we will be doing a chain call with method add JWT bearer specifying a lambda expression that will be used to set up our validation settings. Using our lambda's options parameter, we will access and instantiate a new object of type token validation parameters. If you want to know what each setting here does, please read the above comments for each one. Now that we're done building our services, we're going to need two middleware. To do this, we're going to call the use authentication and use authorization methods on the web application object that is returned from the builder.build method call. We are now in our controller viewing our endpoint method. We are going to decorate it with the authorize attribute, and the role is going to be any value by use notes.get. And this is going to be used later in our app role. We're going to go to Azure portal and we're going to search for app registrations and we're going to hit new registration. Now we need to create at least two app registrations. The first one is going to be the one for our API and the second one is going to be our consuming app registration. Now come to your API app registration. We're going to go down to app roles. We're going to hit create app role. The display name is going to be the name of the role. The allowed member types is going to be applications and the value is going to be the corresponding value that you set inside of your API authorized attribute. Next, we're going to go to expose an API. And here we need to create an application ID URI. This is going to be used in our OAuth request. This name is going to be automatically generated, but I have my own, so I'll use that. Hit save. Come to your second app registration. Notice how I named this one read only. This indicates the type of permissions this app registration is going to have. Navigate to API permissions. We're going to hit add a permission. We're then going to go to APIs my organization uses, and we're going to type in the name of the first app registration for our API. In my case, it's notes. Now here, we're going to specify the different roles we want this app registration to be able to consume for our API. So this is going to be a read only, so we're going to select notes.get. Now we're going to notice our selected API permission here. We're going to hit grant admin consent for default directory and hit yes. For our consuming app registration, we're going to go to certificates and secrets, and we're going to generate a new client secret. The description is whatever you want. Please note that once you hit add, the displayed secret can only be seen once. Now scroll down to configure new token. The token name is going to be any name you want. The grant type is going to be client credentials. This is because the authentication flows machine to machine. The access token URL, client ID, and client secret is all going to be obtained from your client consumer app registration. Scope is going to be the app URI that was created in your API app registration, appended with a /default. Client authentication can be left as is. Now we're going to hit get new access token. And if you did everything correctly, authentication complete should be what you see. Go ahead and hit proceed, hit use token, and then we're going to format our request. Now, if you did everything correctly, hitting send would result in your API returning the correct response. And that's it.